Hey everyone, welcome to this new episode of The New Critic. Today we're going to be doing a TV review, something that we've never done before. And today we're going to be looking at Prison Break. Yes, Prison Break. We're going to be looking at this show because the 15th anniversary is on the 29th of August. And it's a show that I'm glad I've finally seen and I wanted to talk about. So back when the show first aired in 2005, I knew about it, but I wasn't really into it. I guess because it was somewhat grounded in reality and I wasn't that kind of guy. I wasn't into those types of things. But a couple months back, I actually got hooked on the pilot episode and then I started binging the rest of the show. I took a break after season 4 and then I returned for season 5 and it was awesome. If you haven't watched any seasons of the show, don't worry, this review is going to be spoiler free, and my reviews for the rest of the seasons. So let's get into it, shall we? So the story follows a man named Michael Schofield. He's an architect played by Wentworth Miller. He deliberately gets himself incarcerated at Fox River Prison in order to break out his brother Lincoln Burrows, played by Dominic Purcell. Lincoln was sentenced to death for a murder that he did not commit. Well, according to him at least. Michael enlists the help of Lincoln's ex-girlfriend, Veronica Donovan, in order to find out whether or not he's telling the truth. If the premise alone doesn't draw you in, then the characters, well, I really liked the characters. There's quite a few of them, and most of them are in the prison, some of them are outside of the prison, and I like that, the stuff going on inside and outside the walls. I'm not going to get too in-depth with each character because I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but I'll go over them briefly. So, Michael Schofield is one of the smartest characters perhaps in television history. His whole plan, from the tattoos on his body essentially being the blueprints for the prison, to improvising if things go wrong, and yeah, things will have to go wrong at some points, and if they do, he's always got a plan. You may be wondering where Michael acquired the blueprints from. Well, being an architect, he actually had a hand in designing the prison itself. Michael's brother Lincoln is very strong both physically and mentally, and he shows himself to be very threatening, but on the inside he's the type of man that is simply unable to kill. There are some other memorable characters on the show, like Fernando Sucre, the most loyal friend you could ever ask for. There's C-Note, there's John Abruzzi, there's Brad Bellick, there's Henry Pope. Of course, there's Sarah Tancredi, who's very important to the show. But my personal favorite is T-Bag, played by Robert Nipper. T-Bag is one of those individuals who has committed acts that are very despicable, but on the inside, he's a fun character. He's very humorous. He is often helpful to the characters every now and then, but he also switches between being an ally and an enemy, so that's also something. I won't say where exactly because, well, spoilers obviously, but overall his character arc throughout the entire series is probably the best. One of the best parts about the show, particularly this season, is Michael's planning. The way that Michael plans to break himself and Lincoln out of prison is fantastic. Whether it's requiring certain items, or breaking into specific rooms, or enlisting the help of other prisoners and gaining their trust, the whole process is compelling in itself. There are 22 episodes in total, and the plot feels perfectly paced overall. There is a flashback episode that you don't really need to see, but it's enjoyable and informative, so I recommend you watch every single episode anyway. The best episode of the season is without a doubt the finale. Without spoiling anything, they do break out of prison, but I won't say how, because that's the cool part. And of course, every TV show needs a villain. or villains, if there are many. There are villains in the prison and outside of the prison. I think I can only discuss the villains outside the prison, though it could include some minor spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything about the villains before going in, just skip to the time on the screen and you'll be fine. Are you done? Okay, here we go. The villains include Paul Kellerman and Daniel Hale, who are Secret Service agents trying to cover up the conspiracy that led to Lincoln's wrongful arrest. They're both working for a mysterious woman associated with a company called The Company. Yeah, The Company. And of course, there's bound to be plenty of twists and turns, and this show has some of the best ones in television history. Now this season has some very minor flaws, and nothing big to worry about. But for me personally, some of the editing was clunky, resulting in a few continuity errors here and there. At times you have to suspend your disbelief in order for the plot to progress. One character in particular was very frustrating, and that's Al J. Burroughs, that's Lincoln Burroughs' son. He just makes decisions that will anger you when watching. And there may be at least one or two twists and turns that might be obvious to some people. Well, they were to me, but maybe one or two of them. Overall, if you somehow haven't seen Prison Break, I would highly recommend you start off with Season 1. So next time we're going to be looking at Season 2, and yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and so on. And I hope you're all safe during this time, and I'll see you soon.